Pashaparo, YN7. Thank you for tuning the replay. All right, we got the 22nd through the 28th for you this time around. Tarot files. All right, we're gonna be using I call them my Egyptian gold deck today. Sage. All right, let's see how we're going to close out February. All right, so we know the first card is going to be for what the core issues, or what's at the core for next week. And let's see what we got coming up here. 8, 3, 8, 16, 19. All right, give me a second. You know, the first one always the long one. Okay. So you had a good week and everything? How'd it turn out for y'all? All right, my bad. I was doing a little distracted there. I'm back. So, here we go. We got the 4 cups for you guys. And it's going to be about the self-love. 4 means work. So, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so Lord of Blended Pleasure. And with that, we got the opportunity to change one's life, but at the same time, boredom and fatigue. So, are you getting tired? You getting tired, getting bored, putting a lot of work in. Need to make a change. So, comfort, pleasure, wealth surplus. Business is everything is so well that there is no wish to take up anything. There's a chance to change. However, there is doubt if it's worth it to do that. During the time of wealth, it is necessary to think about the future. Right? So, your relationship is boredom, fatigue, disappointment in each other, unjustified hopes, and it's also necessary to think about the future, otherwise you may lose it. Okay? So, your future's on the line here. Your future is at stake. All right, with a question mark. That's how we're gonna put that. And then the health is light depression and surfeit. Psychological characteristics is indifferent, boring, passive. So, what do you? mundane, you know, bored. Let's see here, boredom, which does, I mean, let me see this part up here again. It says opportunity to change one's life, but at the same time, boredom and fatigue. So, the Lord of blended pleasure. So everything is so well that there is no wish to take up anything. There's a chance to change. However, there is doubt if it's even worth it. So, you're bored, but you're comfortable. Which is keeping you which has some stagnation, which adds stagnation, right? Is the future you want worth the investment now? All right, right? So pay attention to all details, be more attentive, and the warning is there is dangerous inactivity. No politician to do anything, but duty calls. What's politician? Hold on. Let's see what politician is. So, faculty or power of using one's will. Okay. So, I didn't want to assume, but so there's no energy to do anything, but duty calls. So, you ain't want to do it, but you got to. You don't want to, but you have to. So, I mean, this could be a lot of things. It could be something that's maybe you used to enjoy that now feels like a chore. It could be something that you definitely was trying to, you don't put a lot of work in. Maybe it's something that you do that you make a lot of money at, or you're just to the point where you're just about done with. You want to be done with doing it. Maybe you're ready to retire, and like you just see that you gotta put that one more round in, that one more job, that one more. You know how to, it always goes like that in the movies, right? Like, and in life too, for some people, I gotta do this one more job and then I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And maybe your job feels like that right now. You're like, man, I'm just gonna put this one last weekend and I'm done. I'm gonna do this one last project and then I'm done. I'm gonna do this one last, you know what I mean? And you're like, but you find yourself like not trapped, but you haven't taken the steps to go to the next level yet. Meaning, like, you haven't invested in yourself fully to propel yourself to that next level. So, like, it does look like it's just like, whew, tired. The cups are upside down in the picture, right? So it's like there's nothing in them. So you gotta actually do the work to fill them up. You know what I mean? The 4 is all about work. So if you don't put the work in, your cups are gonna be empty. And you don't really want that. So But I'm looking at it like, okay, so he or she is halfway up, upside down, right? The cups are upside down. So this is a very pivotal point, because I guess what you do now determines whether you're gonna be right side up or upside down really soon. So you gotta put the work in, fill up your cups, or are you putting the work in and maybe you got so much heat brewing down there that the heat rises and the cups are catching the wind of the heat up and they're like levitating, due to the heat. So, it's a couple different ways this could be going on, but whatever it is, you're really, really bored with what you're at the moment with what you're doing. And it's time for a change, and it's time for a change, but you're still hanging on to that old way of life. You know what I'm saying? We told y'all it was time to go and get the pieces you need to function on that next level. And if you don't, things are gonna be really, really tossed upside down. So, and you're gonna feel like it's a negative thing, but it's because you didn't move on your own and take advantage of it on your own time, that the time is gonna be made for you. So, from that perspective, it'll look like you're out of control and a lot of stuff is going on. But you're tired of what you're doing, then start putting time into what you want to do. No matter what nobody say now, you have to start and you have to develop. You got to fill up those cups. Take them off the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, take those bowls off the shelf. Maybe that's them in the cabinet. You're going to whip something up. You mixing something up down there. And then you're going to take one of them bowls out the cabinet. You're going to fill it up with what you mixed up. And you're going to put it up there and let it do what it do. Right? And then you're going to get the next one down. And eventually you're going to be able to put enough in where your bowls will be full. And now you'll have something to serve. And people will be knocking down your they'll be gladly opening up their investment log to fund you. Whether that's a purchase at your store, at your business, whether that's investing in your company, whatever it is for you. You know what I mean? It always happens like that. Once you fill up the cup, like, then everybody got something to offer you. You know what I mean? So get ready, but you gotta start now. All right. So your past feelings about this, let's check them out real quick. Okay. I want to let you know up front while I'm doing this, because I see the card already. So you got the 10 of Cups, right? And you have everything takes time, right? Like, you're learning new skills, etc. Everything takes time. So right now you have the 10 of Cups from the 4, right? And what that 10 is like a completed cycle, right? So it's the Lord of perfected success. And it was great happiness, time of stability in all fields, ongoing luck, right? So your past feelings were you were happy before. See? And that's like what happens every time. You get a new job, you feel like it's gonna be so much different this time around, right? And you get in there, you start doing the job, 6 months, a year into it, you start to see little signs of how the job is just like the other job, or has things that's going on with it that you didn't like about the other job. Now you're seeing them here. You didn't see them when you first got there because you weren't, what did I say before? You weren't paying attention on your other card. See what I mean? Pay attention to all the details, right? So you were happy. Okay? That was your past feelings. All right? You had ongoing luck, it felt like. So the events are meeting with relatives, journey to native land, everything what is related with family. All right, so the business is well-regulated business, trade in liquid, natural resources, gasoline, etc. Great income, every kind of fortune, right? So the relationship was the best card for a relationship. It's deep, interdependent, emotional comprehension, deep unconditional love, family support. Okay? Now, the health was great, and then the advice was to go visit relatives, come back to your roots. And then the warning is happiness is never without clouds. Everything will be good, as in a fairy tale is the result, right? So you felt like you had it all figured out. You were happy before. Felt like you had it all figured out, right? You were making what you thought was good money. And I'll say that because what you thought was good money. I say that because it was good money for where your mind was then, right? And everybody supports you when you are doing what they think you should be doing. I know that was all long and drawn out, right? Everyone supports you when you're doing what they think you should be doing, right? Because, and I put it like that because you felt supported, you felt happy, you felt the energy, you felt like everybody was with you, your family and all that stuff, right? Everything was going well. You had this big fairy tale ending. This fairy tale dream you were living, this fairy tale moment, right? Looking back on it, is what it felt like for you. And now, all that's gone away. And I think just looking at the core of this week, so your future is at stake. I think you made a change. Looking back at thinking about your last weeks, I think you made the change, right? And remember, you walked away from everything and everyone. And in the beginning, you were like really focused. You're like, yeah, I'm done. And you went out into the wasteland to find your new destiny, right? And maybe now you're on your way. You're starting to see what you're building on the horizon, and you're at that moment where you're like, you know what? You're starting to reminisce about how you felt like what this picture was. You felt like you had all these cups full. Actually, it's got 8 upright and 2 turned down, so you still got the 80-20 rule where you got your 80%. You're not worried about the 20 instead of having the 20% and not getting the 80 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you felt great. Maybe that was what you had, and it appeared that you had only gone through a little bit of what you had total, right? But notice this right off the bat. If we go to the core, your 4 cups turned upside down. 6 of them gone. They're not even in the picture, right? These 4 cups is all empty, and you out here by yourself doing it. You out here by yourself putting in the number 4 work. You see what I'm saying? And your past actions is what you're really thinking about now, whether you realize it or not. See, the mind always justifies what it wants to believe. So when you get to this moment and you looking back on your past actions, like, man, you know what, man? Before I got on this path I'm on now, this knowledge and wisdom, or wanting to be better myself, or wanting to go to the next level, or wanting to get that new job, or wanting to start my own business, or wanting to become whatever. This is what my life felt like. Man, I had everything, man. You know, the people, but see, look, when you looking back on it, you got people around you, right? We're just gonna say people because that person there represents more than one person. See, that's why there's 2 cups down, because you going through stuff. You know what I mean? You're utilizing your resources, whatever that is, your time, your energy, your money, your food, your date night, whatever it is, right? You pouring some out into their hand. They there then. And whether it's that one person or it's a cycle of people coming through, this is what you were feeling back then. It felt good, it looks good, but in reality you were being completely drained. And once it was gone, once everything is all gone, see, everybody dressed nicely out here. You know, you thinking back on it, you had nice little decorative flowers in the back, right? Your little cups was all full. You only had 2 of them. You were like, man, I got plenty of time. I ain't gonna worry about it. I'll get some more later. And you keep playing the game, and they keep draining you. They keep draining you. That's whether you just hanging around the wrong people, whether you got people around you that's not encouraging you to become better and helping you grow to that next level, or giving you tips or information or knowledge, or help building you up, and they just pulling from you. If all they can do is tell jokes, if all they can, whatever it is counterproductive, that's what you were involved in. But when you look back on it, don't get confused. See, that's why I said pay attention to all the details. Don't get confused and feel like it was great, because what you're really recognizing is how you were being used in a way that was injuring you. But it felt good, like alcohol. You know what I mean? Alcohol is really a poison. And I'm not saying I don't have a drink every now and then. But it's if you look into it, it's actually a poison. But in the middle of enjoying it, it feels so good, right? That's why you keep doing it, right? And then they do these mixtures and concoctions of to make it more appealing, right? You see what I'm saying? So this is like that. It felt great. It looked great. Everybody said it was the right thing to do. You felt like you were on top of the world. But it was only because, look, let's blow this up a little bit. It was only because they were there with their hands out and you was filling it up. Whatever it was they were asking for. I'm not saying it was money. I'm not saying it was anything in particular, but whatever it was, you were going through your cups until they were empty. And now the core of this week is you back out there trying to fill them up by yourself. So depending on, this is why your future is at stake. Because depending on how you see this past, when you're out here on the journey, in the middle of the barren wasteland, putting the work in now, getting towards your new goal, your next level, depending on how you see this past memory in your mind, what you see it as, was it really good? Or is that same picture a reflection of what was destroying you then, that's now got you? This might actually be what you need to do. Because remember, you came over the mountains. You left it all behind. You went through the wilderness. So maybe you just tore up a little bit. See how the back here looks a little crazy and the pieces missing and stuff. looks a little worn. The whole person looks a little tattered, right? So, but maybe that's what it also takes to climb to that next level. You see what I'm saying? You got to go through the wilderness. You got to go over the mountains. You didn't come through there. Remember that 1 week, whatever week it was, where you was all bandaged up and you were with the mountains behind you, and you had the scars and the gashes and the fresh blood still dripping. You know what I mean? So now you're over here doing the work by yourself. So maybe that's not just to say, but the point of the matter, it's not just to say it was bad how you got to this position, right? You left all your cups behind. Remember, that was like more recent. You left them all behind to walk into the wilderness. But this is what you left behind. This is the feeling. This is what you left from. And then now you might be looking back on it, and that's why you're feeling bored now, because, man, we was partying it up, man. But see, now you investing in yourself, and you're not spending that money on the same stuff, or you're not putting that time into the same situations, or you're not, whatever, being drained here. You're actually taking it and investing it into what you're trying to grow. You're planting the seeds, and now because that's not around you every now and then, you look back and you feel bored. And you're like, you know what, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore, because I was having so much more fun back there, and maybe I need to go back there, right? Is that where you at? This may not be for everybody. Some of it is. But the long story short of the matter is, this is a very critical moment. Your future depends on how you actually interpret those memories from the past. Was that really support, or was it really destruction? Were they really supporting you, or were they secretly trying to destroy you? And how you look at that is going to determine how you position yourself in the future. And it may be the same. Either you're going to put yourself in the same situation on the next level, or you're going to become wise to it. And that's why things around you are changing, and maybe part of why you're by yourself right now as you're in that transition. So the boredom is actually a success of that transition, but you got to know to keep pushing, to keep doing what you're doing, because it's going to pay off really soon. So let's take a look at your past actions to see. Well, we know what your past actions were. You were out there living it up, but then you left, or something happened that split y'all. But let's take a look at it. It splits you from that party feeling, that happy, that center of the world feeling. But let's take a look at it. Yep. All right. Here I come. So what your past actions was, right, was the Fool in reverse. Okay, because sometimes you need to go ahead and trust your own heart and your own instincts, right? And let them lead the way. And maybe you felt like it was time to go before and you didn't. So the Fool, the old name is Crocodile, right? And when it's in reverse, it's disorder, chaos, foolishness, ignorance, and failure. Nothing happens. Stagnation, hesitation, distraction, incompetence, particularly risky business, right? See, everything's turned upside down. A cat trying tell you it's the wrong direction. You see what I mean? So the relationship is vainglorious attitude. Relationship is very superficial, vanishes in no time. So isn't that what we just saw here? Right? They was all with you when you was feeding them, right? And you didn't change anything and fed them until all your cups was empty. And now look, see these flowers in the back there? Those 2 flowers in the background, a little bud. Is that the same flowers and bud that's on the ground there? Like the party's over. You know what I mean? After the party's over, it's just you there to clean everything up, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what it's saying. The past actions led to they vanished in no time. All the people, all those relationships, they gone. So the health is madness, mild psychological disorders, high risk of various traumas, especially head trauma. See, like look at them. The way they are now, they gonna fall over and tip over and fall on their heads. They not careful. You see what I'm saying? That's a head trauma. You know what I mean? Your mind messed up right now because you're thinking about this. Like, man, it was great then. Where all the people there, but now you out here doing this by yourself. Why? Because the past actions was all wrong. It was upside down. You was distracted, incompetent, particularly risky business, stagnation. Nothing was happening. You was hesitant to leave this situation before you ran out. So you ran out and now the party's over and you got to go put everything back together yourself and you by yourself. So psychological characteristics is apathetic, foolishly naive, no self-control. See, you was here with it. You had 8 left, 2 was done, and you kept feeding them. They were there. They kept coming through, and now it's all gone, and you out there by yourself doing it again. So the advice is do not start anything. Do not start or do anything so far. See? Do not start or do anything so far. I'm translating that into do not exhaust yourself. So do not start or do anything so far that you can't, that is too late. Now you out here like this, it's all gone. So the warning is do not stop at the most important moment, right? Do not stop at the most important moment. And the result would be you won't make a step, will be late, new period is not well timed, you may stay for a fool. So if you do not stop at the most important moment, like here is when you should have said, okay, wait a minute. We done went through 2 of these motherfuckers. They still got their hand out. They ain't put nothing back in. All right, if I stop now, I only got to go back and get these 2 real quick, and I'll be full again and then whatever. But you didn't. Your past actions, you just turned it all upside down. You turned all the way up. Right? And now you out there by yourself cleaning up the after party, all right? So you might stay a fool for a while. This is why the core said your future is at stake this week. What you do this week is going to determine your future. I mean this kind of like every day anyway. I mean that's like a no-brainer, right? So, but let's see what the advice for the present is, because I really think that this past feelings or attitudes is really what is critically key, because if you feel like this was a good thing in a party and you want to get back to this life, then you're missing what was really going on and what was really happening, and you're setting yourself up for a huge failure. And it's not because you're not going to achieve, it's going because you're going to achieve at such a higher level. So imagine if these pots represent, $10,000. I don't know, whatever it is for you, 10 hours a day, whatever, right? And now when you get to that next level, instead of it being 10, it's 10 times. So each pot is now 100, right? So what that means is that if you mismanaged each pot when they were 10 hours, 10 days, 10 projects, whatever it was, 10 flips of your business assets, whatever it is, right? Then when each pot becomes 100 and you didn't learn from this situation when it was only 10, now you're going to make even you're going to make the same mistakes, but they're going to be more grand in scale, and it's going to be much more dangerous for you to remain in that same mindset, because the stakes, your future is at stake, right? The stakes are so much greater now because you're on a different level. You're on a different level. So, if you feel bored, it might be because you're on the right path, and you need to get accustomed. You need to know that that's not boredom. Maybe that's detox, and you need to know what that feels like. You gotta detox. You're going through a detox, like from a drug. That previous environment had you drugged. That previous scenario, situation, people around you, whatever it was, had you drugged. And just like any, you don't want to relapse now, right? Look at how far you've come. You putting the work in. You're going to get there. Stay focused. So let's see here. The advice for the present. Yeah, get free. Get free. That's the get free. You're gonna free yourself if you stay focused. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm coming. Because what you got the five of pentacles, right? And that makes total sense because let me get on the screen for you. If you put the work in and you stay focused, right? Oh, that's the wrong one. If you put the work in and you stay focused, right? Keep your eyes on the prize. You're gonna start to grow. You're gonna start to grow your little situation. You know what I mean? You done cleaned up. See? Look. You were like this. Everything was all messed up. Look. If this is the water here at the bottom, even the water wasn't flowing, right? So you got here, you got little ripples on the water. Your soul got some movement, some more pep to a step. You done got yourself together a little bit. You know what I mean? You're working on your freedom. You see what I'm saying? Stay focused on what's going to set you free, and don't get all confused with the emotions. So let's see what the Five of Coins talking about here. The Five of Coins is the Lord of material trouble, right? So the general meaning is hard times. So poverty, despair, prowling, and seeking for solution, right? So losses, the business is losses, destruction, job loss, very unsuccessful investments, and the relationship is loss of mutual understanding, two unfortunate people, friends of unfortune. One of the partners in a relationship is carrying out a mission. See? Bam. Right? They was there to get it all, and at the core, it looks like you may have let them be successful, and then because everything was upside down, but what does that really translate to? So the health denotes a particularly hard loss, necessity to put up with a disease and look for happiness in some other places, right? So dis-ease, could just be that discomfort. See? Here we go back to what it said at the core. You're not comfortable, but you're saying you don't want to put the work in because it feels daunting. It feels like it's too much to do to get to that next level. And is it even worth it? Right? So maybe this is even like this could be your past actions, also could be this is your dream. And then you're in the middle of putting the work in and you're like, there's a lot of fucking work, man. I don't know if I want to do this shit anymore. And you know what I'm saying? So you feel it upside, you know, you were upside down about it before, and you know, so you got to change up. You got to get in there. But if I look at these two, even though the 5 is talking about some hard times, it's hard because shit, you got to put in the hard work. You see what I'm saying? But here's the difference. Here's what it felt like mentally at some moment when you were either thinking about this is where you should be living, this is the life you should be living, which could be this is where you're working towards, right? Or this is the life you had and you have people around you, or it could be both. This is really both, right? So you're gonna have you were here before on this level, and you had the wrong people around you, and that's why you had to leave them all behind, because that's why nobody came with you. Because if they were the right people, y'all would remember that one week where they were working together and they built a little log stick wand thing and they were climbing up. See, those people would have been here with you in this picture, right? They'd have been out there doing the work with you, but you're by yourself, right? You're by yourself, okay? So what it was you poured too much in. See, you're pouring in to the wrong people. Now you by yourself doing all the work by yourself, and you're wondering if it's even worth it to get to the next level to even find the right people. And you may be in your mind saying, man, when I get the right people around me, whoo, look the fuck out, right? Because it's going to be on and popping. See? So you're looking to get back to the situation, but now maybe you want to make sure it's with the right people so you don't wind up like this again. And the thing is, you were like this, feeling like it's a lot of work. You don't know if it's worth it, but you still plowing away. You see what I'm saying? So you still working towards this. The hard times is the hard work, right? The losses, the destruction, the job loss, the very unsuccessful investments. That was the past version of you here. Don't let the future version of you be the same fool as we found here in The Fool, right? Don't stay the fool. You see what I'm saying? You putting the work in from scratch. You had to start all over. You're building up. You're here. You got your shit back together. It's getting back together. It's getting good. You lost all that shit, right? You lost those people. You lost that situation. You left it all behind. All those cups are turned upside down. Now you building something new. Don't make the same mistakes, right? So psychological characteristics is loser, unfortunate one. It is unclear what the person is looking for in his life. You see what I'm saying? So remember, they're going to call you a loser because it is it is unclear what the person is looking for in their life, and I'll add to them. See, they don't know what you're looking for. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know what you're working on. So in their mind, there must be something wrong with you. Right? Again, that's why they left you, because when you had all this, you know, they felt like you was looking for them. And now that you're not looking for them anymore, actually, they're not even looking for you because you don't have, or you're not offering. Maybe it's not that you don't have it. Maybe you're just not giving it anymore. But for whatever it is, those people aren't around you anymore. So you're back to putting the work in. And maybe that's a good thing because they're not around you. This is what you felt. And you're like, you know what, man? I could be working on some shit right now. What the fuck I'm doing sitting around here waiting? And you started grinding, and now they don't see what you're working on. They don't see what you're developing. They don't see nothing, right? But now look at the difference between this picture. There wasn't even no tree back there. Now you got your little tree. You know what I'm saying? You got some little sprouts growing there. You got your little flowing river. Your coins is getting together. You ain't had shit last time. Bowls is empty. Torn clothes. Hair fucked up, right? But this is where you're going to. So you left all that shit behind. So the advice is take up some safety means before the time of misfortune. You see what I'm saying? They don't see what you're working on. But you do. And the result is no one can help you during this period of time. No one can help you because no one's willing to give. No one that you were around was willing to give because they were there to receive. And that may not mean that okay, so maybe I didn't word that perfectly, but maybe they just weren't even capable of giving you what you need. Because what you need is on the next level shit to them, and they not wanting to do that. They not on that level. They don't want to go that direction. They comfortable, and they wanted you to be comfortable. They wanted you to be comfortable there with them. Because why would you want anything more? We got all of this, and it's you know what I mean? Why would you want anything more than what we have right now? And you were like, you know what? Yeah, because I'm thinking about the future, and you know, man, if the fucking world collapse, or you know, I mean, we need to get some more everything, right? Some more of this, more of that, some better this, some better that. We need to be in a position where we could do more, whether it's help the community. Maybe you're trying to get to another level because you got plans to do stuff in the community that you can't do right now because ain't nobody trying to help you do that because it doesn't benefit them. You see what I'm saying? So now you gotta go out. You gotta go out here with your pots turned upside down and get to work and grow it from the grassroots up and get your coin together. And because you were on a level. Remember one of them other weeks it said, don't get comfortable on the level once you get to that next level, right? So here we go. So maybe you got to this level and now you could sit around and or maybe you spent some time, you know, enjoying this level. And you're like, wow, this is great, man. This is light. But you know what? I want to do so much more. And this is where that conversation came in of what? Nah, man, don't worry about it. You doing too much already. Just chill. We good. And you're like, nah, I got these big plans, these big dreams. And they're like, chill. Just you know, we got all this is all you gotta worry about right here. Don't even. And you was like, you know what? Nah. And because of that, party's over. Everybody's gone because now you said let's do some work. Everybody's gone. Nobody wants to help. So you did it on your own, and it's starting to come together. But you're getting those flashbacks about how good it felt before, and you need to realize that it wasn't really good. It was bad because you had the wrong people around you for the right reason. So the time of misfortune that could be coming is you great get to that same position on a higher level. It might not even be the next level. Maybe it's 2 levels up. And because of this work you're doing, and you need to remember and be careful because you have an opportunity and a future. If you want, you know, what you're working on could be at stake here if you get with the wrong people again. Stay focused. See, his eyes is on the mission. Know what he looking for. I don't know, he beating up some dust there or whatever, but he focused. They don't see what you looking for. And that's good because they don't see it, they don't recognize it. They could be looking right at you, looking right at it, and they don't know because they can't put it together. All right? Let that work to your advantage. So your present feelings got a lot of relationship stuff going on. All right, so your present feelings is actually the King of Cups, right? Here we go back to the cup. So it's all about your emotion, your self-love. You know, this is really what, like we said, if you gotta put yourself before others sometimes, right? Actually, what happens when you put yourself before others? That's what it's saying. You see, they were gone. They're like, oh, party's over. You want to do work now. You trying to go big and we was comfortable right here. We was trying to get you to stay with us, but you're not on that. So, we're gonna go over here and stay over here. So, what you got now, right? It's the King of Cups in reverse. So, again, emotion, love, relationships, stuff like that, right? So, the King of Cups is in reverse. Its psychological characteristics is a psychologist in a very stable way manipulates people and gets everything he wants. Bad father, crafty and double-faced person. You shouldn't open up to them. Desires to influence other people's lives. Okay? So events are the situation when everything is about playing with your feelings. Speculation on children, diseases, sacred matters. So go back to all of this that we just went over. Right? All of this is those situations. Situation when everything is about playing with your feelings, right? Bam. Oh, yeah, you're the greatest. Yeah. Can we have some more? Please. Oh, keep giving it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, you the best. Ha, 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 ha. Laugh. Yeah, can you go get us? Go get us. Go get us. Go get us. Yeah, go get her. Right? When you're like, nah, I already got it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, awesome. Okay, we're just going to stay here and camp out. And if you let them, right, they're going to call you double-faced it, right? You're going to remember they don't see what you're on. So when you're like, yo, okay, now look, cool. We had some fun. It's cool. We got to get back to this grind, get back to this work. They're like, oh, no, now you changing up on us. Right? When you gotta be like, work. Oh, no, now you getting different. You getting all different now. We was just chilling. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, you don't want to chill? Man, you tripping, man. That's when you start becoming, oh, there's something wrong with you, right? See? So you're a bad person. Now you want to do something. So anyway, now the business is shrewd manager, advisor, able to work in several companies, just a professor. Business is managed. See, so now you handling your present feelings is, you're handling your situation. You see what I'm saying? And you turned all that upside down. See, if you look at that, the cup is upside down now, right? Because the whole card is upside down. So if the cup is upside down, it's a lid, right? So you put a lid on that shit, right? And now you pouring into two flutes or two pitchers or whatever you want to call these things, but they on your side, they at your feet. And even though the card is upside down, you put a lid on the bullshit, and now you filling up your cups. You see what I'm saying? So of course you're gonna be double faced now because you were just pouring into their hands, and he's not, you're not giving to them anymore. You're doing for yourself. That's because they were drained. They were all about receiving, but never gave nothing. And you realize at the core, if you kept going that direction, this was gonna be you out there with nothing, dusting off the ground, and all your cups being empty because you know what I mean. All the lids are on you. You know what I'm saying? All the people you was around you gonna put the lid on you when you ran out and it's empty. They gonna put it on you. You gonna be done. You see what I'm saying? So you had to flip that shit. You know what I mean? You may have chose not to continue to be the fool. You got your shit together. You put a lid on that shit, and now you filling up the stuff at your feet. So the relationship is unscrupulous. One partner is watching another after manipulates, gets benefit, attempts to make dependent, and raises conditions. So you raising the bar. This person or these people tried to manipulate you. You put a lid on it. Now you getting yourself together here. Now look at this transition, right? At the core, this is what was at stake. This is what you felt like. This is what y'all are doing. You either wanted to get here, or you came from this situation, you were thinking about, you missed it, or you were looking at it from the past, talking about how you missed it. But it's very critical that you see how they were actually using you, and it was draining you, so that you could get yourself together. So you got focused, you put the work in, and you put a lid on the bullshit, and now you're filling up your cups. But look at this. You went from rags to riches, right? You went from rags here all torn up, right? You got yourself cleaned up, putting the work in, and now you got like ornamentation on and, you know, stuff like that. And you got a lid on it. You got a handle on it. What they say, the business is managed. You see, you got everything under control. You got a lid on this. You filling up these, and this is all your shit now. And you getting yourself together. Now, here you was getting yourself together. Now you getting yourself right. You know what I'm saying? All right. So the health is great decreases after stormy emotional scenes, difficult emotional recovery, because this was painful. You really cared about them more than they cared about you. And that made this devastating, right? You feel devastated now because you probably, when you said, hey, look, we got all this and we can go take it to the next level. And if you put in this, or you do this, or help me with that, you know, we can get here real quick, and then we can do this grand, bigger thing. And they were like, no, you know, we don't really want to do that. And you were trying to, what it is, this reminds me about the people you started off trying to help. Like, you came up with this idea to make their lives better too. Said they don't want to do what it takes to get there, and you left and you went on your own to do it. And even though you're accomplishing everything, see, you started dusting it all, you had your little whatever, and now you got some little growth happening, this, that, and the other, right? And then now you got everything under control. You getting big, you know. Look at that ornament. I mean, you getting there, right? Obviously, you're a little bit better off than you are here, and here you're a little bit better off than you were here, right? So it starts to get painful when you reach a certain level in your climb or on your journey, and you remember that the people you started this whole thing for didn't realize you were taking this crazy leap of faith, or came up with this crazy scheme or idea that they said you were crazy for, and you know, whatever it was that you were doing it for them to begin with. But when they all turned their back on you, or they all left you, you never stopped. So what'll happen is, let's say these 10 cups, let's not worry about them being up, right side up, or right, or upside down. Let's say these 10 cups are people or groups or things or whatever it is that you set off to do this for, and you were gonna fill, you had a plan that was gonna fill each of these 10 cups, right? Well, now what happens is they left you, right? And you went out there and did it on your own. It started to pay off, and now what's gonna happen is you're gonna get everything you went for and more, probably. So instead of you having just your cup, you're gonna have 10 times the cups, because now those 10 those 10 cup holders, those 10 stakeholders are no longer there. They left you. They gave up on you. So you got 10 times the amount now, because you're left with nobody to share it with. And of course now they're gonna be like, oh, you double-faced it, oh, you manipulate, you know. No, they left you. They gave up on you. You stuck with the plan. You stuck with the program. You started from scratch. You built it up. Now you got it all coming together for you. And they still don't see it. They just see you there. You see what I'm saying? All right, so remember that, right? And that's where the emotional recovery comes from. That's why you feeling depressed. That's why you feel some pain, because you're accomplishing everything you set out to do, but you're alone, and you need to understand that being alone is what's allowing you to move at the speed that you're moving. You know, sometimes sometimes when you with the wrong company, like a woe man will woe a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, slow down. You know? Um and if we just take that wordplay, anything that woes man, whether it's the wrong job, the going out every weekend, feeling, whatever, not investing in yourself, anything that woes a man, right, is a manipulation. You see, you shouldn't open up to them. It's desiring to influence your life. The situation, everything is about playing with your emotions. You see what I'm saying? All right, so health is, remember, that's that great decreases after stormy emotional scenes. These are stormy emotional scenes. When you remember that you just did everything you said you was going to do for everybody, but you by yourself. When it starts to pay up, you getting that back pay. So take advantage of your knowledge about people or human cognition. You see what I mean? Remember that probably is relating to this was not a good thing when you look back on it. It felt good, but it wasn't good. So take advantage of your new knowledge now about people or human conditions or cognition, excuse me. And the warning is someone will try to extract what is useful by any means. See what I'm saying? So keep your lid on it and make sure your flow is going to circulate to you. And then the result is deceptive help and deceptive protector. So keep a lid on that shit and make sure your flow goes to you, because you remember how it worked before you last time when you had it together and you started pouring into everybody else in this fashion. You see what I'm saying? You know, like, you might really be a person that wants to help everybody. I know a lot of people talk about how I'm not saying I personally know a lot of people. What I mean is, like, I know a lot of people think that in order to make a difference, you have to you've heard this before, like, you can't be an advocate unless you out knocking on going door to door, out in the streets, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? You got to be out there with the people. Well, what does it cost you to do that? I mean, whether you want to talk something as simple as how much time does it take you to go and talk to everybody in one neighborhood? And you probably got thousands of neighborhoods in your city. How long that's going to take you to accomplish? How much gas money you going to use in a week to do that? And you don't have nobody helping you. And I'm not saying that, see, and then the people might applaud your effort, but that's that artist seduction. Yeah, keep going. You know, they're going to be broke in like 6 months. Watch. We going to, when they run that card to the ground, you know, and this is what they doing behind your back. This is this right here. You see what I mean? But you feel good because you're like, yeah, they telling me I'm doing great. And you feel like everything is great. But is it? Because when you like this, where they all at? You see what I'm saying? So what you need to do, again, here's where your life, your future depends on what you do now, because it's not to say there's not a better way. So maybe you get an online broadcast, and now you can send the same message around the world. You know what I'm saying? For like free in comparison. But here's where that serpent's in your ear talking about eat the fruit. Nah, you need to go to them. You know what? The people that need the message the most will find it. That's what I learned. You know what I'm saying? when you got it, you know what I mean? You ain't thought about it before a day. But when it go down, you on Google, you searching you asking that question to Google, like Google, and YouTube, show me how to you see what I'm saying? Put a lid on all that shit and find out how to make the shit work for you. Because that's what's gonna keep you in your power. You know what I'm saying? All right, see where the situation is heading. Because I think you gotta have it under control. And that's what's going on with this situation here. A lot of like I said, a lot of businesses are changing. A lot of opportunities appear to have been lost. But it's just a matter of what do you want to do differently to create the same, if not more, of an opportunity. Change is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? So make the adjustments and get that flow going in you, through you, with you, around you. But stop letting it flow to everywhere else but you. Especially when it's coming through you to get there. You see what I'm saying? All right. All right. So we got the Three of Swords. Okay, let's get this on the screen for you real quick. So your swords is about your decisions, right? Remember, that's what it started off with. You got a decision, and your whole future depends on it. So there's action. It's going to be some change. This is your freedom, you know what I mean? So now the Three of Swords is the Lord of Sorrow. But let's see when it's in reverse, though, it's tragic mistake, situation without a way out. And the business is confiscation of property. It is love without a respond. It is love without a respond. Okay? So unsuccessful operation, right? And then the psychological characteristics is person surrounded by troubles. You see what I'm saying? So prepare for extremely hard challenges, right? And the warning is serious sorrow. It is the limit. Nothing can be worse. So The result is insurmountable conflicts, inevitable troubles. You see what I mean? So notice in this, you're upside down over the blades, right? And you have eyes watching you there in the background. You see what I mean? These same people, remember, if you don't make the right decision, okay? So the tragic mistake is if you let these people back in, they all ready to like try and stab you in the back, or they've been stabbing you in the back. But see what it is since you left, right? They told you, no, you can't do that. Don't worry about doing that. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that. What makes you think you can do that? And then you went out there and you started doing it, and they were like, ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? Look, you didn't want to remain the fool, right? But then if you make the wrong choice, you're gonna remain the fool. So you went out there and you did your work, right? You put a lid on it, start filling up your own stuff, and now you got eyes watching you, and blades hoping that you fall. You see what I'm saying? Because they didn't want you to go to that level anyway. So they hoping that you fall off. You see what I mean? So, that, like I said, you did this for them to begin with. And this is where it's talking about love without a response. You see what I'm saying? So you did this all for them, but you by yourself through the whole process. But they've been watching you the whole time, and they've been hoping you fall off because they've been stabbing you in the back, and they need you to fall so they can have the satisfaction of saying they was right when they told you not to go to begin with. You see, and this is where the confiscation of property comes in, because you had to take all that shit back. Or they have to take everything they ever said about you back. So, combination of both. You see what I'm saying? But I think where it's going is that you realize this is what's going on. So you realize that this was a tragic mistake. You see what I'm saying? And this would be a situation without a way out if you were to get back into it. And you realize that if you go back this route with it, it would be unsuccessful. See, and that's because you got to this point and you feeling this right now. You see what I'm saying? You came up through the ranks when they said you would never do it. You weren't supposed to be able to accomplish this. You weren't fucking supposed to be able to do it. But you did it, and now you're not even fully there yet where you see yourself. But you hear and you feeling this, and you realize this is what's been going on all along. So you know now what this really was in the past. And because you know this, you're taking measures now. Again, you're putting a lid on everything. You see what I mean? And that's where the extremely hard challenges come in. And it's not that it's just you gotta put in. You gotta put in a lot of hard work, because you gotta do it all by yourself. But that's part of what makes it fun for you. You see? Because you're here now, and because so that's what it is. You done climbed up. You done made it to that level, right? So look, the eyes are beneath you. The blades are beneath you. They're waiting for you to come back down to this level so they can feast off of you again, like here. But as long as you stay up here, you're out of rare reach. But they've been watching you, and they're gonna watch you. You see what I mean? So, but the thing is, where it says here, the warning is serious sorrow. So you had to leave all this behind. Remember, that's part of what you're going on now. You're like, man, I don't even know if this is worth it. Maybe I should go back down there. But if you go back down there, they waiting on you. They hoping you fall off. That's going to make their day. And it's not even about them. What it is that where it says the warning is serious sorrow, so you reflect on missing them. You reflect on missing that feeling of this. You're still by yourself here. Look, you still by yourself. You know, you've been by yourself through the whole process, and you missing this situation a little bit. But you know, if you go back to them, whether that's your past relationship, whether that's your old job, maybe if you keep going back to the job you at, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might just be you're preparing to leave there too. You see what I'm saying? And this is what's going on. They all know it. But as long as you stay where you're at and stay doing what you're doing, there's nothing they can do about it. But they waiting and they watching for you to slip up and fall. So the challenge is to remain. But going back to the warning here on this card, I'm going to go back to this card to show you how it's in effect. See, right here is where you are now. And the thing is, the warning is, it is the limit. Nothing can be worse. So as long as you stay focused, like this is where you're at now, that you're on this, remember, you're on that level. That's the three swords are the mountain that you came over. Is this what tore your ass? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Had you all cut up and bandaged up, like you got up out of there. You know what I mean? Remember before the swords was falling, it was three of you. Remember that reading a few weeks back? All three of them was in that little cave or wherever they were at. The 8 of swords was falling down on their necks. And you were like, come on, let's go. And they were like, no, we're going to stay here. And you were like, okay, it slices, it dices as seen on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, you left them there. And now they watched you through the whole thing. They watched you go out. You know what I mean? Maybe they weren't, you know, they were just pinned down or something. So now they watch you do this. They seen you stay focused. They watch you grow. You know what I mean? You're getting a little bit of shit together. Now you getting there. You filling your cups. You got a lid on the other shit. They waiting for you to come back over that mountain. You see, the eyes are behind the swords. That mountain, them 3 peaks. They waiting for you to come back over there. All right? But the thing is, as long as you stay focused, this is where you done climb to now. And the thing is, this is the worst. Or it says it is the limit. Nothing can be worse. So it doesn't get any worse than this. Like, this is you done climbed up. And this is now going to be your new rock bottom. And this is why they mad. Okay? So let's get you some advice for the future and get you up out of here. Because you don't put in a lot of work. You see what I'm saying? They say protect your neck, man. Right? Again, all the people that you used to quote unquote love, that you came up with this plan to make everybody's life better, they left you. They laughed. They turned it back on you. They said you'll never make it. They waiting for you to fall back down on those blades, so that then they could run in and play doctor and pat you up and say, see, we're here for you. We're going to comfort you. We knew you. We told you not to go climb up that high. You was going to fall. We told you. You should have listened to us. You know what I mean? That whole role. Remember that deceitful play with your emotions shit. Right? That's what they waiting on. They waiting on an opportunity where they can do more manipulation in your life. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you stay focused, the thing is, this is now your new rock bottom. There's nowhere to go but up from here. Like you can't even come down unless you just it would be totally your fucking fault. Like you would have to work hard to you would have to put a lot of work in to go in the wrong direction right now where you're at. So stay focused on what you're doing and keep doing that shit and keep fun. You filling up your flutes now. It's time you start filling up your shit. That's what you're doing. You got everything filling up. You fully loaded, right? Yes, you getting there. You getting there. And then once you get fully loaded, see, you're trying to. A lot of other people, I ain't gonna say it like that. Some people want to fill up for themselves. But what makes them even more about this situation is you're not wanting to fill up for yourself. They could live with that. You're wanting to fill up so you can make a difference around the world. That's the part they don't like. All right? Stay in your power. This is your new rock bottom. All right. Let's see here. 13, 22, 4. Put some more work in. Advice for the future. Hold on, let me do that again. I ain't like how that did that. All right, so let's see what we're talking about here. All right, so let me get this on the screen for you here. I think you get the idea. I think you're going in the right direction. You know what I mean? All eyes on you. Going back to the other reading, like you're at a center stage right now, and just gotta remember, don't let the people don't get drugged back into the wrong situations for the wrong reasons. So the advice for the future, you got the Knight of Cups, totally a lot of cups. So a lot of emotion you're going through right now. And what I always, when I see cups, I always think about self-love, because a lot of people, I think people could fare better with more self-love, and they don't realize it because they're too busy trying to, again, do this. They're pouring into everybody and everything else, right? And they feel like that's what they're supposed to do, because when you cut that off and you start filling up your own stuff, they call you two-faced, and they call you this, and they call you, all this stuff now. All of a sudden and they're not strong enough to weather that storm. Remember those emotional differences after that stormy situation, so they never go through that pain, and they stay locked in with the people leeching off of them, and they feel like, and their brain justifies it as an enjoyment factor. But anyway, let's get into the advice for the future here. So psychological characteristics is emotionally rich kind, is able to sympathize and noble, but doesn't take much responsibilities on oneself. You see what I mean? You're not responsible for them because they left you, right? So the events are arrival, approach, offer of a hand and a heart, or just a very good suggestion. So remember to remember when I was talking about deceit and everything, be very careful that you don't wind up in a similar situation. Make sure you do thorough, don't be so quick. You know what I mean? But your cup is up right now, and it's on the horse, and the horse is decked out, and there's some motion involved there. It's ready to go. It hasn't even launched yet, but the front legs are still locked, but that rear legs is ready to just spring in. You know what I mean? Like I said, you here right now. You done climbed up from the rags, the riches, to you got a little bit of situation going for yourself. You starting to now fill up you just starting to now fill up, but this is your new rock bottom, okay? And now your cup is finally right side up, and you ready to go on your world tour with it, so to speak. So you're gonna have the arrival or the approach of help. You know what I'm saying? And or somebody now is gonna be giving you good ideas. You know what I mean? You gave everybody else ideas. They, whatever. Now it's time that remember, you're pouring into your cups now. So the business is in good condition. Most of all, creative person, actor, loves to talk. Representatives of the diplomatic corps, representatives of show business. So the relationship is quite often, this card shows some weird stuff and very emotional relationship, deep but brief acquaintance, and presents and in signs of attention. So remember where in the beginning it was pay attention to all the signs. So now you're starting to see the signs of attention. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe where you used to have to pay attention, you're just getting better and you're starting to notice everything now. Remember the last one, it was like the signs were all around you and you're starting to notice them. So the advice is accept the offer. Okay? So some of you guys are out there, you got a contract, you got something that's going on in your life that you're wondering if you should do or if you shouldn't do. Remember, that's kind of interesting because the core is your future is at stake. Boredom but comfortable, which is it adds stagnation. Is the future you want worth the investment now? So you're gonna be approached with offers right now. You know what I mean? And like we said in the beginning, I didn't say it this way, but take the offer, because what they're offering you is tools for you to construct on the next level. See, you're on a different level now where this is now your rock bottom, as long as you can continue to fill into yourself, right? And, these offers are going to help you do that more efficiently. So the health is good, and the warning is do not give into charms of strong person. You see what I'm saying? So this is where you're going to have to make that choice, because you're going to have you got the attention now. So there's going to be multiple people, multiple relationships coming to want to be forged with you, and you got to pick and choose who's right for you, so you don't wind up in that situation where it was like this. You see what I'm saying? Make sure it's like this. You know what I mean? And you're going to have some people that's going to help you do this way, because they'll still get their sprinkle off the top, and that's enough for them. You see what I'm saying? But make sure you your offers are doing that for you and launching you into the right direction, not leaving you stagnant. So the result is brief time of beautiful emotional experience, right? So I think what's going to happen is, out of all of that depression, you're going to wake up and realize, that this is your new rock bottom, and that's going to give you that brief bliss. And I don't think it's brief as in like short-lived, but the transition is short. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna go right from depression or the feeling a little down to boom, you right there, you back on the grind. You now realize what was feeling so laborious or mundane or such a chore is really what has now developed into this, which has now got you here, and now you're ready to launch. You see what I'm saying? And this is the new rock bottom. So once you realize that this is the new rock bottom, your mind just goes, whoa, imagine what I'm going to do next. And now you got that excitement, and you're catapulted into your creative self, and you're launching into new ideas and ready to jump to the next level. Because just because you're 2 levels up now, doesn't mean you're going to stop and get comfortable and become complacent. You're going to keep climbing. You're going to keep doing what you're doing. And, they're still going to be waiting for you to come back down. But remember, this is your new rock bottom. So as long as you stay focused on what you're doing, you ain't got nothing to worry about but yourself. All right? Pasha Pyro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay of the Tarot Files.